So I created my first webtoon in 2020, and that is when everyone was forced to stay at home. I was bored out of my mind and had a lot of free time on my hands. So naturally, instead of being a good student and spending my last years of high school studying, I decided to make a webtoon to pass time. During this lockdown era, webtoon became very popular. I'd say whoever made a webtoon during this time had a huge chance of getting readers and engagement since people had more time to flock to the platform and discover new engaging series. Instead of using this to my advantage, I didn't really take my webtoon seriously. Why? Well, because I was being realistic. What are the chances of my first webtoon, clumsily made with no concrete plot and awkward storytelling, become a booming success? None. And I'm glad I had realistic expectations at that time, because having realistic expectations leave no room for disappointment. If you're thinking of making a webtoon and this is your first time, please don't set high expectations on yourself. Your first webtoon will always be your experimental webtoon. Your first webtoon should be a learning experience. Discover your art style, find ways to prioritize speed without losing its quality. From what I can see, many webtoon creators usually burn out after the first few months of publishing. That's because although they have the passion in sharing their story and characters in the form of a comic, the work that needs to be done in creating the webtoon itself is extremely burdensome, especially when it's a plot-driven story that would require many panels as opposed to a slice of life or comedy. In having realistic expectations, you also need to have a goal in creating your webtoon. If it's from money, you'll have to be disappointed. I know this sucks, but the starving artist stereotype is mostly true. Unless you already have a huge following and fan base that are willing to support you financially, earning a decent income through making your webtoon is pretty hard. You may earn some money through Patreon as a bonus if you give extra rewards though, so don't give up hope. When Webtoon stopped its Creators Rewards program in early 2023, I was devastated, honestly. My second webtoon, Woes of a Male Lead, was gaining traction and getting a lot of views. I was finally making some money off of Webtoon itself. It was like fate was laughing at me and I only got to benefit the rewards once before it was abolished entirely. My dream of making income from Webtoon was basically trampled on. But I carried on with making my webtoon because I wanted to share my story to the world. It does truly sadden me when so many webtoon creators stop posting their comics entirely because they either can't afford to or they just lose their passion for it. Kamvas creators and originals creators alike. Though with originals, because they're under a contract, they take long hiatuses and then disappear, which is something that would backfire. Never disappear without a word, guys. Always inform your readers if you're going to take a break. Nevertheless, people tend to romanticize becoming a webtoon creator to the point that it devalues the hard work we put through. So many creators have developed health issues from overworking, and there are still readers complaining about updates. It just feels like the cycle of abuse until creators just give up entirely. So, the main advice from all this that you need to have strong intrinsic motivation. Don't 100% rely on external validation, likes, and engagement to motivate you to create. Although it does help that people like your story, but once you've reached the high, you're only going to want more. One day you're happy that you got 100 likes on your episode. The next day you're sad that your next update didn't reach the amount you wanted, and now you feel demotivated. I'm talking about myself, okay, so if you feel targeted, I'm targeting myself as well. Likes are just that, numbers of people who bother to press the heart button. Hundreds and thousands of readers never comment, nor like, but love your series. Yeah, it's hard to believe, but you have to accept it. I've been obsessed with the series, but I never showed it to anyone, online nor real life. But I guess that's the beauty of it. The fact that hundreds of people supporting your work silently, rooting for you, is amazing. Once you shift your perspective, one loyal fan who support your work can mean so much more compared to 100 average readers who are just looking to pass time. So don't be too hard on yourself. Love what you create what you love. That's the key to success in webtoon making, in my opinion. That was corny. Next advice. Social media is a very important tool if you want to reach a wider audience. I definitely recommend sharing reels, posts, and videos about your OCs to the public before publishing your comic to build excitement and interest in your characters. This is especially effective if your main genre is romance and comedy, as people naturally gravitate towards those things and NSFW stuff. So take advantage of Instagram and TikTok. See what's trendy and imitate what other successful webtoon artists have done on their own social media accounts if you're not entirely sure what you're doing, because that's what I did. And don't be discouraged if your video does not go viral. My videos did not go viral at all the couple of dozen times I uploaded, but the few hundred people who do see the videos are a few hundred who might not have seen it if you didn't post. So don't underestimate the power of marketing. Yeah, it kind of sucks that we have to put work into promoting our own webtoons since Webtoon is extremely saturated now, and with its terrible search engine, it's near impossible to find comics that suits your needs. But we have to work with what we can right now, and pray Webtoon takes the initiative to improve its filter engine. If anyone from Webtoon is watching, please listen to my pleas. It's for the greater good. Lastly, make Webtoon friends or mutuals. If you're like me, a Webtoon creator who has no Webtoon friends in real life, it's nice to be mutuals or friends with other Webtoon creator friends. You can support each other, offer advice, and even collaborate in projects. When I was just starting in making webtoons, I would post episode updates to my Instagram with the hashtag #WebtoonCanvas, and I guess that's how other webtoon creators found my account and start to follow me, and I follow back. Sharing webtoon related content with your OCs is a sure way to get other creators to notice you, and perhaps they'll follow you out of interest. I used to follow every webtoon creator out there I would come across, but I stopped that habit since it really wasn't good for my mental health. Yeah, I could make a whole other video about comparing yourself to other webtoon creators and how that really affected my mental health. Comment below if you're interested. You can also reach out to others via Discord, as Webtoon Canvas has a server. I personally don't use the Webtoon Canvas Discord server because it's overwhelming. I just stick to a small group of people I'm used to in a smaller server. And if you find that no one seems to be reaching out to you, take the initiative to talk to other people. Communities provide a network of support. Whether you're going through a tough time, need advice, or simply want to share your joys, having a community to rely on can make a big difference in your webtoon journey. Fellow creators are more likely to empathize with your challenges and triumphs compared to friends who may appreciate your work but lack first-hand experience and with the unique struggles faced by webtoon creators. I hope this video gives you an insight to starting your webtoon. I've made many mistakes when I first started my webtoon, but mistakes can turn into lessons, and I'm sharing what I wish I knew before I started. So you guys don't feel discouraged early on. I wish you guys the best on your webtoon journey.